All right, so you know on this channel, I do a lot of talking about how to start a clothing brand. Well, today I'm going to be talking to you all about starting your actual line, actually creating your clothing line. There's some things you need to consider as you're developing it, and we're going to talk about two key components. And make sure you stay through the whole video because I'm going to be giving you some sites you need to check out, especially for those of you who are not designers. This is going to be very helpful for you guys. So let's discuss. Next, here on Making the Brand. What's up, everybody? Rob Norman here from Planet Brooklyn Academy, and this is Making the Brand Season 2, the series where I give you a little insight and knowledge on how to start a clothing brand, and if you already have one, how to make it better. As always, please hit that like and subscribe button, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date with everything I drop when it drops. Okay, so you're starting your clothing line. You're starting to actually design it. So before you even start, there's two things that you need to kind of consider when you're developing it. The first thing you need to think about is your theme. And your theme is pretty much where your inspiration comes from. Now, a theme can be anything. Your theme could be something that is, close to you, could be something about your family. Theme could be something that you've seen on television or something that, that inspired you. Those are themes. And what themes do is they basically create guardrails for you when you're designing. Now, I know personally when I design, I can design for hours and just keep creating pieces after piece. And sometimes some of the pieces don't even go along with anything else on the board that I'm designing. But when I have a theme, again, it gives me these guardrails that allow me to design within that so that as I start coming up with pieces that may not fit, I can totally chuck them and say, okay, this doesn't work, I can revamp them. This is why themes are so good. And themes could be anything. Let's just say, for example, you may like Wicked. You like the movie, you like the Broadway show, and it's something about that. And you want to make that your theme. Now, every big company creates themes as they create capsules or their new seasons. Now, those themes can be something that they tell the public, or it can be internal. Again, it helps you really focus your line. So if it's internal, you don't have to announce that Wicked is your theme. It may just stay internally, but what you're pulling from it are the things that help you design that line. So what can inspire you from that show or movie could be, maybe it's the colors. If it's not the colors, maybe it may be the concept of this good versus evil. So you may want to design around that, coming up with these pieces that work within harmony of that concept. So again, that theme helps you design within to that. Now, your theme doesn't have to be based on a movie or something like that. It can also be as great as music. Music is a great way to be inspired and come up with themes when you're designing. I know for one season, we thought of designing around an album. We're looking at someone like Nas's album, his first album, and figuring how do we design around the concept of Nas's first album. And then maybe every song on that album is a particular piece of clothing that we'll design. So each song has a particular piece of clothing that we design, and the whole capsule together would make up the album. Now, that's something we would tell people, saying this is what this capsule is designed around. But again, maybe we didn't want to say that. But again, it gave me focus of how we wanted to do things. So consider that when you are starting to develop your lines. Now, another thing when you're thinking about inspiration and coming up with themes is that sometimes it doesn't have to be as much as an album or a movie. It could be just colors. Colors are a great way for you to develop a good theme and working structure to design within to. Now, one of the things, and this is one of the things I said at the beginning that I was going to start putting you up on, there is a site that most people don't know about. Most of you out there designing are using Adobe. What most of you don't know is that Adobe has a very special site that you can go to online. If you go to color.adobe.com, you can actually enter this whole site that Adobe has that allows you to see different color trends. So you guys see what's trending in colors. So if you want to search something in there, you can go into their trend section and you can actually look at all these different photos that are being created in real time, most of them. And you can see the different color variations on these. Or if you want to look up something saying like 80s graphics, you can type that in and then various photos will come up with that, with the colors underneath those that are represented in that photo. And the beauty of that is you can download those colors and open them up in Illustrator or Photoshop. So this is something that they don't tell you, but it's a great way to develop your colors, because some of us aren't great at creating colors. You know, black and white and gray is always great to sell, but sometimes you need more colors than just those three. So when you're creating other colors, some of us just can't think of great combinations. Well, here's a great way for you to understand great color combinations and download them and use them. Now, there's another great thing about this site as well. If you go into another portion of it, you'll see where you can actually upload images. So if, say, for instance, you have a photo that you like the colors in it, but you don't know what colors are being used for it, you can upload it right here inside the Adobe site. And what it will do is it will extract the colors so that you can now see all the colors in that photo. And then you can now download those colors and open them up in Photoshop or Illustrator. Pretty cool, right? Again, something that they don't put out there for people to know, but it is available for you to check out. Now, another one that is great to use, that I use a lot, is Awesome Color. Now, Awesome Color, you can find them on Instagram. And when you go on there, they give you color combinations that you may never thought of putting together. I use them a lot when I'm stuck for ideas, but looking at the color combinations here gives you great themes and concepts to work with. Now, as I'm looking at these colors, you can just hit the next page and slide through, and you'll start to see where now they actually break down the color systems for you in RGB or CMYK, so you can recreate them in Illustrator or where else you're using it. So this is awesome for this. So again, as you're creating themes and starting to think about color stories, look into these type of ways of getting your colors to help base it, to help narrow your vision for how you're going to design. Now, the second thing when we're talking about creating a clothing line is actual design. Now, most of you who are out there are probably using Adobe, and you can use other platforms, but most designers out there are using Adobe. Now, here's the thing. If you are someone who is not very gifted at creating actual silhouettes or croquis for their designs, I've got an answer for you guys. All right, so when you're looking for something, there's one site that's actually great for you. FashionDesign411.com. Now, if you go to this site, you can actually download croquis of all the different designs. So let's just say you want a blouse, but you aren't good at drawing blouses freehand. You can go on here, download blouses, and then download them as vector images, and then you can edit these. So now you have a template, and you can add your graphics, or you can change the hems, or add stitching to it, change the cuffs. You can do all that. I mean, you can find templates on here that are for baseball caps. You can do tech packs. You can find everything on this site. So it's pretty amazing, but it's also great to the fact that if you are not someone who's really proficient in drawing silhouettes, you know, it's easy to draw a t-shirt, but when you start drawing, you know, gowns and things like that, you may have problems. But here, this solves the problem. So you can download it, use it as a vector, edit it, and now create your own out of those. Now, the next one that you can really use, which is also a great one, is Hydna Studios. I think I'm saying that correct. Hydna Studios. Now, Hydna Studios is one that's not free, but you can pay for each one of the downloads, and they aren't much. Some of them are like $2, $3 per download. But I mean, you're getting some really great stuff on here. You can also see trends on here. You can get tech packs. So when you are developing your brand and your pieces, and now suddenly you want to send it out to get it manufactured, you can actually download tech packs here. So you can see exactly how your tech packs could be set up. So you can send them overseas or wherever to get it manufactured. But this is great for you also as someone who may not be great at designing, but you can now get these silhouettes and you can put your graphics on it, and you know, you're ready to go with your designs. So the two main things you need to think about basically when you're starting off your designs is thinking about inspiration or your theme. And then when designing, where are these resources that you can use to help you really download and get to work? Another one that I just remembered, I'm sorry, I forgot about this one, Adobe Stock. Okay, Adobe Stock, if you have an Adobe account, you can go on Adobe Stock and you have access to these images also. If you type in vector flats or fashion flats, you can pretty much find a lot of those in Adobe Stock Photos. So you can find those, download those, and there's also editable files that you can use in Illustrator. So again, there's different ways to get around this if you are not a designer. Look, when I first started in this, I wasn't a designer. My background is a graphic designer. So I started learning how to design based on downloading these croquis and flats and started tracing over them and started to learn how to create my own. And once I did that, I became proficient in it. And you can do the same. It doesn't take long to learn how to do this. But if you can download these items and start playing with them, it'll help you a great way and get you really going with your brand. All right, I hope that helped for you guys this week. I'm going to start doing a couple more, going a little more in detail about design, because we've done so much about actually building up the brand, but now we're going to do more in design. So look forward to talking more about that with you guys. But until the next video, I'll catch you guys later. All right, peace.